In the last video, we saw the wandering cat merchant Theo, who came to make a deal with Park Sejun. Sejun is fond of cats and thinks that he might have trouble negotiating with them. But then he finds that Theo is hungry and offers him roasted fish. Theo is hesitant and tries to resist the offer, but since Sejun persuades him, the cat eats till he is full. But it turns out that Sejun wanted to scam Theo and asked him to pay for fish. And after that, the cat merchant wants to sell the items he has. Theo shows him the 3 items he has brought with him. As Sejun sees a tumbler, a portable fan, and a portable hand warmer, he tells Theo that his items are trash. Theo is adamant that these were marvelous items from outside the tower. Theo is shocked when Sejun says that he knows these things because he is also from outside the tower. As Theo realizes the truth, he is devastated and starts telling Sejun his sob story. He lived in Graner village, in a neutral zone in the tower. He liked Meryl, the most beautiful girl in the village, but she did not like him and instead went with a rich cat. Theo was heartbroken and decided to leave the village and earn money by becoming a traveling merchant. He spent all his savings to get his license, and then he met a goblin trader called Scaram. Scaram took advantage of the naive Theo and sold him these useless things. He also gave him Sejun's address. But now Theo is sad that he got scammed twice, first by Scaram and then by Sejun. And as Sejun sees him crying and wailing like that, he gets a thought. He asks Theo if he would like to work with him, and Sejun thinks that Theo will agree to him because he was just a pushover. Theo is shocked, and he asks Sejun if he really meant what he said. Did he want them to work together? Sejun replies that he wants a good merchant to sell his items. But Theo asks if Sejun really thought that he was a good merchant. He does not believe Sejun. He says with drooping ears that he was just a noob who was completely useless. But Sejun tells Theo that even though he made some mistakes, he still had some qualities of a decent merchant. And then Sejun smugly smiles and says that Theo touched his heart by telling his story, and that is why he wants to become a business partner with him. Theo is surprised, and Sejun is going to tell him about the business partner deal. But before that, he signals the rabbits to show the merchant their hospitality, and the husband rabbit and his wife are ready to give the cat a relaxing experience. They have created chairs from onion leaves, and there is also an umbrella. The mood is set for sunbathing on a beach, and the rabbit couple is also wearing garlands made from tomato flowers. They are now lying on the chairs, and Sejun is sipping something from a bottle made of onion leaves. Even their straw is made of onion leaves. The rabbits are also fanning them. And now Sejun repeats what Theo told him about himself. He was desperate and took a deal from a shady merchant. But he ended up being scammed and could not sell his goods. And right now, he doesn't even have any money to buy any goods he can resell later. And Theo sadly says that Sejun was right. Sejun excitedly tells him that that is why he wants to become a business partner with Theo. He was proposing an offer that would be a win-win situation for both of them. Theo would take Sejun's products and sell them to other people, and he would get an incentive according to the amount he sells. Theo asks what the incentive was, and Sejun explains. Theo had to sell the goods above the price Sejun had marked. And of course, the more Theo sold them for, the better. And Sejun believed in his ability to sell them for a much higher price. And he would get 5% of the price of the items he sold. Meanwhile, the black rabbit is trying to roast a fish. Theo is appalled by the offer. Only a meager 5% incentive was too low, and he thinks that the condition is too unfavorable for him. He then angrily sips from his glass, thinking that Sejun took him for a fool. He would not be deceived. But before that, Sejun has yet another thing to tell him. And this was the most important part. Sejun asks the rabbits to bring something, and we can see them walking with many roasted fish. Sejun says that there was not only an incentive, he would pay Theo 10 fish or their value in coins each week. And Theo is absolutely stunned. Sejun says that these were all the terms and conditions of the contract. And now Theo is drooling as he asks Sejun if he was serious about the roasted fish. Sejun asks him if he wants to sign a contract now, and Theo is not so easy to convince. He reminds himself of what happened in the past with him. He was betrayed by Meryl and Scaram, and he has to be smart if he does not want to be deceived like that again. But he really cannot resist the fish. Theo wipes the drool off his face and says that he will consider it if Sejun offers him 20 fish per week. Sejun has the creepy grin on his face again. The cat was really a pushover. He tells Theo that he is in a good mood right now, and on top of accepting his request, he will add 5 more fish. Theo is shocked to see 25 grilled fish piled in front of him, and he cannot stop drooling. And then Sejun throws in another bonus. Theo could eat as much fish as he could when he was here. And that is the last thing Sejun has to say. He repeats himself one more time, and Theo still finds it hard to believe. He is so excited that he has forgotten everything that happened in the past. Sejun asks if he has a paper with him, and Theo has one. Sejun takes the paper and writes the terms of contact on it. And then Sejun signs it as Party A, and Theo puts his paw there as Party B. Sejun says that the contract is complete now, and Theo is also okay with that. But then he immediately realizes that he got so excited that he did not even realize that he signed the contract. And now he is shocked as the contract flies up and disappears. This way, it has been finalized into a contract accepted by the tower. An information window appears where the contract disappeared, and it displays the details of the contract. It was a lifetime distribution contract. Starting now, Theo would have to sell Sejun's products for the rest of his life and bring back the profit. The compensation was as mentioned earlier, 25 grilled fish or equivalent coins per week and 3-5% of the sales as an incentive. There were also special clauses in the contract. As an initial deal, Sejun would give Theo his crops. The contract would be terminated if the sales amount was less than 5 tower coins in 1 month. Theo should sell the crops above the marked price. Also, he could not form any additional contracts without Sejun's permission. And lastly, he had to talk with a cat's accent while selling items. Sejun is happy to sign a contract. He has only heard that it is one of the most important documents in the tower that cannot be destroyed. On the other hand, Theo is devastated, wondering why he signed his first contract like that. Sejun says that he used to wonder why they made the contract so hard to edit and destroy, but now he knows that it helps to make the deals more effective and valid. But then Theo asks him what the fourth condition was in the special clauses. He asks Sejun what he meant by the cat accent. Using the accent from his village was embarrassing for Theo, and he is angry about that. But Sejun laughs and says that he will understand it when the time comes. Sejun puts his hand forward to shake hands with Theo, but he slaps it away. He says that they will see if things work out or not. There was the first condition of the special clauses that said the contract would be terminated if the sales were less than desired. But Sejun pats Theo's head and says that he would be a good salesman. He says he believes in the reliable and resourceful merchant cat, Theo. And as Theo hears himself being called resourceful, he gets happy. Sejun also thinks that he was quite simple. Then Theo asks Sejun what kind of things they are selling. Sejun confidently tells him that it was cherry tomatoes. Theo is confused, and Sejun gives him a freshly picked cherry tomato. But as Theo looks at the tomato, he finds that it was a magical cherry tomato that could temporarily increase MP by 0.1 for 10 minutes. He asks Sejun how much he is planning to sell it for. Theo thinks that if he were lucky, he could get 0.01 tower coins per tomato from the new people who come into the tower. Sejun replies that he wanted to sell it for 0.05 tower coins per piece, and Theo is shocked to hear the price. He says that only an idiot will buy it at such a high price. But then Theo thinks that a high price might be a good thing for him. If he fails to sell enough tomatoes to earn 5 tower coins in 1 month, his contract will be terminated. Plus, he could eat grilled fish in the meantime. Theo asks Sejun how much he should take with him for the first sales trip, and Sejun says that he should take 1,000 tomatoes. Sejun has put 1,000 tomatoes in a basket and even prepared the payment of 25 grilled fish. But Sejun wonders how Theo will carry all this with him, and Theo replies that he will use his item, the bundle. Theo unfurls his cloth and says that this is his item, the bundle. It has space expansion magic, preservation magic, and magic to make things lightweight. He could store all the things he had in his bundle and keep them in their original state for long periods of time. Theo throws the cloth over the tomatoes and fish, and they get stored inside it by magic, and then it turns into a small pouch. Sejun exclaims that it was so convenient, and as Theo gets ready to leave, he tells Sejun that he will be back. As Theo leaves, Sejun and his friends wave him goodbye. A few days later, Theo had reached the 38th floor of the tower, and right now, a fight is taking place there. A group of awakened people are fighting a giant spider monster. The spider screeches, and the humans say that it was the last one left. They can't let it get away. The spider attacks the hunters, and their leader blocks its attack with a shield. The magicians on the side use fireball magic to attack the spider and divert its attention. And then their leader takes advantage of this situation and beheads the spider in one swift strike. He was the leader of the Phoenix Guild, Kim Dongshik. His team cheers on him and says that this was to be expected, and many of them were betting for it to end with one strike. Kim Dongshik says that everyone should stop praising him and start with the cleanup already. He points out a woman named Jessica and tells her not to slack around. He would not forgive her like the last time if she ran away. And Jessica starts flirting with Dongshik, saying that he must know that she loves him. As Dongshik thinks about what to do with the girl, he feels some movement in the nearby bushes. He turns back and gets into battle mode immediately. He asks who was there as he draws his sword. But Theo comes out of the bush and asks the humans if they would like to see some stuff. Dongshik is surprised to see a cat, and his team is also surprised to see that he is a traveling merchant. As Theo greets them, the girls in the group say that he is cute, much to Theo's surprise. One girl also says that his paws look too cute. Sejin had told him about this. If he used the accent from his village while talking, it would be easier to attract the attention of humans. And now Theo realizes that it really worked. He takes out the tomatoes from his bag and tells them to look at what he is selling. But as the humans see the cherry tomatoes, they are underwhelmed. They say that if Theo was here to sell food, he should have at least brought something like meat or bread. Cherry tomatoes were not good enough to be eaten in this battle. Theo laughs and says that he anticipated that reaction from the foolish humans, but he tells them that these were not ordinary cherry tomatoes. He asks them to check the stats, and the humans are surprised to hear that it was an item. They see the information window and find that it was a magical cherry tomato. It could increase MP by 0.1 for 10 minutes, but humans think that this value is too low. One human asks the price of the tomatoes, and Theo says that it was 0.05 tower coins per piece. The man is shocked and snaps at Theo. He says that he must be making fun of them. Instead of buying things like that, he would spend his money on buying equipment. He starts walking away and tells others that this was a waste of their time. But a girl is still reading the information window, and she seems to have found something important. She says that if she eats this, she will lose 10 grams of fat. And those words stop everyone right in their tracks. They look back and ask, what did she just say? And then everyone starts checking out the stats of the tomatoes by themselves. And the girls eagerly wondered if it was true. And then they start asking to buy everything Theo has. All the girls aggressively start demanding a few hundred tomatoes for themselves. Theo is shocked as he sees them fight and bicker with each other. Some of them even want to buy all the tomatoes for themselves. And they tell others to back off. And the rest of them can only watch them dumbfounded. Theo tells them to get in line. And now even those who were not interested earlier want to buy some tomatoes now. Back at the cave, Sejin is harvesting more tomatoes, and he has just leveled up and got a bonus stat. The wife rabbit is with him, and he asks her if Theo would be doing well right now, and he thinks that the cat must have already met some hunters by now. At first glance, the magical cherry tomatoes looked like an item that would only boost their magic power. But on closer inspection, it had an even greater benefit. It could dissolve 10 grams of fat just by eating it. And it would also rejuvenate the body. Sejin thinks that this is the perfect diet food one could hope to find. And as he eats one, he says that there were no side effects either. He thinks that they will definitely sell a lot, and he trusts the Earthlings need to follow a diet. And Theo really has sold all the cherry tomatoes, and he does not know how to react to that. With this, the video ends. Sejin and Theo have finally started to work together, and both of them will profit from this relationship. Let us wait and see what else will happen in the story in the future. Will Sejin meet anyone soon enough, or will he grow his farm before that? If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.